Welcome to LiveDaf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf Yomi. Avodah Zarah Daf Yutes. We begin on Yud Ches Amud Beis, on the second to the last line. Back to the Pesukim at the beginning of Sefer Tehillim, praising one who commits himself steadfastly to Torah and blocks out all frivolity and leitzanus, and refuses to go, to walk, to sit, or spend time with people engaged in frivolity, leitzanus, or unwise activities. Amar Rav Shmuel Bar Nachmani, Amar B'Yenesan, Ashri Ha'ish. Right, the beginning, the pasuk begins with Ashri Ha'ish Asher Lo Yihalach B'Atzas Rishayim. According to this interpretation, it's a reference to Avram Avinu, who stood his own ground, refused to be swept along with Rishayim of his time, with various sinners of his time. Ze Avram Avinu Shelo Yihalach. He refused to walk and to go and to join Ba'atzas Anshe Dor HaFlaga, to join forces with the people of the Dor HaFlaga, Shirashayim Hayu, who were wicked. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, they attempted to build this tower of rebellion. Shenemar Hava Nibna Lanu Ir. So he kept away from them. The pasuk continues, Ubederach Chatoim Lo Amad. He didn't stand with sinners of his time. Who are those? Shlo Amad Ba'midas Stoim. He refused to join Stoim, Shachatoim Hayu, who were sinners, as the pasuk describes them. Shenamar va'anshe Stoim Ra'im v'chatoim l'Hashem Moed. Furthermore, Uv'Moshe v'leitzim lo yashav. He didn't spend time with the leitzim of his time, with the frivolous of his time. Who are those? Those are the Plishtim, who were known for their leitzanus, for not taking life seriously, engaged in fun and comedy, in wallowing their time. Shelo yashav b'Moshe v'anshe Plishtim. He didn't sit with the Plishtim, because they were known for their leitzanus, as we find in the later generations. That's how they would spend their time. That's how they would wallow away their lives. Shenemar vahi ketoiv libam. Okay, so they were sitting around and celebrating. And they said, "Oh, kir ula Shimshon v'yisachek lanu kol Shimshon." That was the great Shimshon, who is now in their hands. Come, let him perform for us. So that's what the Plishtim were all about. And Avram Avinu did his own thing, ran his own life, committed to Hashem and to serious endeavors, resisted all the winds blowing through his neighborhood. Now the pasuk, actually also in Tehillim, but later on, says Ashrei Ish, lucky is a man, Yorei Hashem, who fears Hashem. Now, why do we reference Ish? Ashrei Ish? It's only a reference to a fortunate man, a male. V'lo Ashrei Isha. What about a female who's just as righteous? Amram, Amarav. The point is not male versus female. The point is Ashrei mi sha'oset teshuva kshu ish. The term Ish means a person full of energy. It means a person in his prime. Lucky is a man who decides to do teshuva at that point in his life, rather than waiting until the Yetzer Hara dissipates, when he no longer has those desires, in which case doing teshuva is not as challenging, not as rewarding, not as accomplishing. Then worried to do it in his youth, when he is in his prime. So the pasuk advises a man in his youth, in his full strength, seize the moment and do teshuva at that point. Rabbi Shimon Levi Amar, he has a different interpretation. Ashrei Mishim is Gabra al Yisra Kish. It's a reference to the tshuva process. Lucky is a person who gathers together his resources, his energy, and his koyach, and his mizgaber, overcomes the Yetzer Hara like a man, meaning with full power, with full battle, to succumb is Yetzer Hara. Rashi says, Ki'ish means a gibor, like a powerful man. And the pasuk there continues, B'mitzvaysav chafetz me'od. Amar Belazar, it means like this, B'mitzvaysav. He desires Hashem's mitzvahs, to connect to Hashem through those mitzvahs. He desires that personal connection of V'lei b'schar mitzvaysav, not necessarily. Is it contingent upon him getting rewarded? Like getting a paycheck after the job is done. He enjoys the process. He enjoys the experience of connecting to the source through those mitzvahs. It's a feeling of love, a feeling of connection. V'ainu desnan, and this corresponds to the Mishnah in Perkei Avos. He would teach us, Al tiyu kavodim, hamashamshin asarav, al manas l'kabel pras, rather than serve like a servant who's serving his master, not because he likes his master, not because he likes his job, because he's waiting for his paycheck. It's just a means to a greater end. Our attitude is, no, we enjoy the moment, we enjoy the process, we enjoy the journey, we enjoy the actual learning of the mitzvah itself. That connects us to our source, and that exactly is our schar, which we will fully experience in the future. It's not like we're doing this to get that. When you're a kid, you say, oh, do the mitzvah, you get a lollipop. When you grow older and more mature, you realize it's the experience itself, that connection, that dveikus. That's the ultimate bliss, ultimate enjoyment. So the schar of the mitzvah is the mitzvah experience itself. Ella, rather, the correct attitude is, Heyu kavodim hamashamshin sarav. Serve shalei al manas l'kabel pras, without a need to be paid after the experience. No, the schar is the experience itself. So back to the beginning of Tehillim, keep away from the wicked, from the evil, from those frivolous, but rather ki'im b'teres Hashem cheftzei. The fact that the pasuk chose the term cheftzei, it's going to teach us a lot about the Torah learning experience. Amar Rebbe, ein adam loimed Torah ela me'makom sheli bo chafetz. Oh, very important that in order for a person to be successful in his learning, it has to be something which he enjoys, which he desires to learn. So you should only pick something which actually you're drawn to. Cheftzai. Because otherwise it's going to be a forced experience. You're not going to have that same enjoyment, you're not going to really internalize it. So ensure that it's something you like. Rashi says, Shem yishana lo yimesechas acheres, because if you go to the shir and you're learning a different, ein mechaymas, you're not going to retain it. It's not personal. Because he wants something that he enjoys. So it has to be cheftzai. Shenemar, ki im b'teres Hashem cheftzai, right? So there was a story regarding Levi, who he was one student of Rebbe, and Rabbi Shimon Rebbe. Rabbi Shimon, the son of Rebbe, they're both sitting in front of Rebbe, and he was teaching them Tanakh. He asked V'kamei the Rebbe, V'kapaski Sidra, they were learning, Tanakh. Solok Sifra, so they finished, they made a siyum on whatever they were learning. What's next? At the siyum, you immediately go on to the next, you start the next, Masechta or Sefer. So Levi Amar, he says, I want to learn Mishlei, Laisel and Mishlei, to get some, Yira Shamayim. Rav Shimon bar Rebbe Amar, but the other Talmud, Rav Shimon said, no, I want to learn Tehillim, Laisel on Tehillim. Kafyi Levi, V'aisu Tehillim, so they forced Levi to cooperate, and they started learning Tehillim. So he wanted Mishlei. Mishlei is Chachma, Mishlei is Hashkafa, and no, they said Tehillim comes first. Maharsha explains, because how did they win over the argument? Because Tehillim is Kula Yira Shamayim, it comes before Mishlei, which is Chachma and more intellectuals. First you have that Yira Shamayim, as the Mishnah Perkei Avos says, right? Yira Aschet comes before Chachma, that's how you retain your Chachma. So they compel them to go along with it. V'aisu Tehillim. Okay, they didn't get too far. They got just to that, beginning where it says Ki him b'teres Hashem cheftzoi. And Rebbe explained, as he did a minute ago, Parish Rebbe V'amar, he says, well, you have to enjoy what you're learning. Ein adam lo yimei Torah elo makom sheli bo chafetz. You have to have that drive, that desire for the subject material. Oh, so Levi got up and said, okay, we're stopping here. Amar Levi, Rebbe just gave me permission to leave. And Asata, Lanu, or Li, Rishus Lamed, you gave me permission to leave. Because I really want to learn the other. It's not clear what exactly happened. But in any case, Amar Rav Dimi Barachama. What else from this pasuk? A man who immerses himself in Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem will fulfill his requests. Will take care of him. Shenemar, Kiyim b'Torah Hashem. When a person is committed to Torah wholeheartedly, then comes Cheftzai. Right? So Hashem does your chayfetz, your desires, your needs. He takes care of you. Amarav, just as we learned that a person has to have a liking for the subject material that he's learning, he has to have a liking for the setting, for the yeshiva, for the rebbe. Find somebody that you like learning from, whose style you enjoy. Amarav lo'elam yilmod adam Torah b'makom, in a place. Sheli b'chavetz. Shenamar, the same pasuk, Kiyim b'Torah Hashem chaftzei. V'amarav. What else from this pasuk? Betchila, initially, before a person actually learns it, Nikris al Shmei Shel Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah is called Hashem's Torah. But later on, after one internalizes the Torah, understands it, analyzes it, absorbs it, Nikris al Shmei, it's called his. It's considered the learner's Torah. His label is on it. Shanamar b'Torah Hashem. Initially, it's considered Hashem's Torah, and then Chavtzai u'b'Torah. After he learns, and he invests, and he analyzes, and understands, and develops it, u'b'Torah. Now it's yours. U'b'Torah yega yomim v'leila. Because every person has his own perspective in Torah. Every neshama has his chelik in Torah. The way you understand, the way you explain, the way you analyze. So it becomes yours. You acquire it, so to speak. In fact, that's why when we relate something, it has to be b'shem omer. We have to quote the source because it's that person's Torah. U'b'Torah soy, yeg yomim v'leila. Torah soy is referring to the learner. It's his Torah. V'amara, furthermore says Rava, lo'elam yilmad adam Torah. First, the person should just get a simple, basic understanding of the Torah, and then delve into it, and then develop it in a more advanced form. Shenamar b'Torah Hashem. So first, try to get a general grasp of Hashem's Torah, and afterwards, the next step is u'b'Torah yege. Yege means to think, to analyze, to absorb it in a deeper way. V'amar Rava, in a similar fashion, Rava says it in a different. Using different words, lo'elam ligris inish, v'afakav d'meshakach. A person should just go learn, even if he knows he's going to forget. Even if he doesn't have a full understanding, doesn't fully grasp what the Rebbe is saying. Doesn't matter, just learn and learn. Eventually, it'll catch up with you. You'll appreciate it. Shenamar garsa nafshi l'sava. So garsa, Rashi says, referring to the crushing. The initial crush, before they grind the grain. So initially, just crush it, just take it in. Garsa ksiv. Ksiv tachana. It doesn't say ground. You don't have to grind it right away. First, take it in a basic way. And then, try to get it more advanced. Rava had a contradiction within the Psukim and Mishlei, referring to Torah. Ksiv, in one pasuk it says, Al Gape. The Torah is high above, flying up, uksiv, and then it says al kisei, it's on a chair, established. So betchila, so which one? Is it up there flying around? Or is it stationary and predictable and understood? Well, phase 1 and phase 2. Betchila, initially, phase 1 is al gape. It appears, it feels like it's beyond you. Ulbasef al kisei, then when you learn and you invest, and spend time and effort, then it sort of gets settled and absorbed. Ksiv, likewise, one pasuk says, "B'roish miroimim." The Torah is way up there, hidden. Uksiv ali derech. Then the pasuk describes that as being open for all on the road. It depends at which stage in a person's learning. But initially, a person's learning is hidden. He learns quietly. It's not so known. It's not so public. And eventually, when he develops into a renowned Talmud Chacham, then his Torah becomes known and publicized for all's benefit. Ula Rami. Ula had a stira within Mishlei. Ksiv, one pasuk describes Torah as shtei mayim mi borecha. Drink the water out of your pit. It's a pit has a limited quantity, right? Uksiv, then it says no, it's flowing forth from a fresh spring, which is unlimited. V'noizlim b'toich be'ivrecha. Be'er is a fresh spring. So which one is it? Is it limited or unlimited? It depends at what point. But chila initially it feels limited. Shteim borecha. So you're limited to the information that you learn. But then when you delve into it and you invest and you get siyata d'shmaya, well springs of knowledge, the depth of chachma, the wisdom of Hashem opens up for you. And you have access to an endless supply of the Torah. Ubasoif v'noizlim metoich be'erach. Amar Rava, Amar Rav Schor, Amar Rav Huna. What about the pasuk which says hoin mehevel yimat? Hoin is wealth, a lot, a huge quantity. Yimat, actually, it's going to diminish. V'kayvetz al yad, but if you gather, handful by handful, a little at a time, yarbe, you'll end up with a lot. Sounds like an irony. A lot turns into a little turns into a lot. Yeah. Im adam chavilos. Depends on your approach to Torah. If you grab it like bundles, and you're overloaded by Torah, without ample opportunity to internalize, understand, and absorb it, it's just going to slip away. Mismayit. On the other hand, if you apply some discipline, learn a little bit, summarize it, review it, and then move on to the next thing, then you'll have. So if you do it patiently, you'll end up with a lot. Amar Rava. So in fact, that's the correct approach to learning. But Yadi Rabban Lohemilsa. Truly the Chachamim are aware of this advice. They know this is the proper and correct approach to learning. Incrementally, responsibly. And they still ignore it. They just grab and learn loads at a time. The Maral says it was due to their love for Torah. They're just trying to grab as much as they could, all different topics and different subjects. But ideally, the ideal way is to do it slow and steady. Amar Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, in fact, I took the correct approach. I did the correct way. V'kayim biyadi. And in fact, that's why it's lasting by me. It's internalized. I have it. Amar Rav Sheizvi Mishmed Razar. Furthermore, on this same topic of taking Torah incrementally, piece by piece, and internalizing it and keeping it for all time. Maidachsiv. What about the pasuk in Mishlei again? Lo yachrich. So yachrich is learned like a joint word. Yichya b'yarach yamim. He will not live long. Remiyat tzeidah. A fellow who is a fraudulent animal trapper, so to speak. He's impressing people with all his knowledge, throwing out facts and figures of Torah that he acquired in a haphazard, a way. Lo yarach yamim. He will not have longevity. He will not have izaycha to the true reward of a Talmud Chacham, of arichas yamim, for learning Torah properly, because he's just trying to do it to impress people. He's grabbing as much information as he could to throw it out and impress people with his grand knowledge. Lo yarach yamim tzayat haramoy, this fake trapper, who's just pretending. Because, as we explained, that's not the correct approach to learning Torah. To grab and spew forth. That's not right. The true way to learn is, as we're going to see in a minute. Rav Sheshes Amar. Rav Sheshes had a different interpretation to this very pasuk in a positive sense. Sayat harama yachrech, just the opposite. If a person's a shrewd, he acts like a shrewd animal trapper. Yachrech, he'll have the birds to roast, meaning he'll keep his information, he'll internalize it, he'll be zeichet to Torah. Which means to say, instead of going for the bank, going for the farm, little by little, step by step, learns, analyzes, internalizes, absorbs, moves on to the next bit of information. Like a shrewd catcher, shrewd trapper. He'll be Zayich, he'll have it. And according to him, the pasuk is read like in a wonderment. A person who's a trapper and does it with proper strategy, he will not be Yachrich? How could it be that he will not hold on to his catch? Of course he will. Ki asr avdimi amar. So when he came, he described it in a mashal. La'adam shetzad tziparn, like a person's trapping birds, right? Im shaber knafel, he wants to get 100 birds. So one way is to trap 100, then by the time he's done, he has nothing left, they're all flying away. No, he does it one at a time, and ensures that he'll keep his catch. Im shaber knafel shel rishona, if he disables the first bird that he caught, that bird's wings, ensuring that it doesn't fly away, and then he moves on to the next one. Kulam miskamis biyad. In fact, he'll retain them all. So if he reviews and chazers one daf and another daf, rather than just flying around and trying to acquire as much knowledge as possible. No, internalize it, review it, learn the daf once, review it again, at least twice, 3 times, 4 times, right? Miskamis biyad, then he'll retain his material. Otherwise, ain't miskamis biyad, his birds are just going to fly away. By the time he's busy with the next one, the first one already is gone. Okay, back to the beginning of Tehillim. A learner is compared to a sapling, a tree which has been replanted next to the brooks. Amrid v'Rabbi. Why ke'etz shasel? Why not v'loy ke'etz natur? Why not like a permanent tree which was planted and is growing in the same place? Why are we describing it like a replanted, relocated sapling? The answer is, you do have to move around when you learn Torah. You have to experience different yeshivas, different teachers, different styles, right? This way you get the full, gamut, the full breadth of Torah. As opposed to a fellow who insists on learning all his Torah from one teacher. He will not experience success in learning. So that's why it's like an Eitz Shasel, because it's being moved around. He nashes from this one, he tastes from this one, and that sort of provides him a full picture, a comprehensive approach to learning Torah. Rav Chizda was talking to his own talmidim, and he says, I'm afraid to tell you this. You're going to back out and leave. But I'm afraid, I'd like to tell you something. What we just said a minute ago, right? That you should go and shop around, but I'm afraid that the Beis Medrash will empty out. I'm afraid the Shavkisuli, you're going to abandon me, Vazlisu, and disappear. So what is it that I have to tell you? If you learn just from one Rebbe, it's not the way to go. And guess what? They took him seriously and they disappeared on him. Shavkuhu, Va'azlan, they went to Rava to learn. Amarli said, what's that before you leave? Hanimi l'svara. This pointer is specific to svara, to developing one's analytical abilities in understanding Torah. So it's worthwhile to expose yourself to different styles and different ways of thinking. Aval Gemara, but when you're still at the Gemara level, which means you're still taking in basic information, you're learning your facts, your Mishnayos, your Gemara, wait it out until you've finished everything. Because then it might confuse you, because one teacher might have one version of the halacha, and the other teacher might have a different version, like we had in the beginning of the Masechet Avodah Zarah. We had Eidayin, right? The first question was, is it Eidayin with an aleph or Eidayin with an ayin, right? It can get confusing. So first, get it all organized, and then go run around and go deeper in your learning. Aval Gemara, but when it comes to the basic knowledge, Mirav Echad Adav, it's better to go to one Rebbe. So that the lashonos, the versions, should not, be conflicting. Okay, so this tree is sitting al palge mayim. Palge can mean branches, split. Right? The waters which are divided. This is to teach us that one should divide his time. He should divide his shnais of his years. Shlish b'mikra, a third of his life should be spent learning Tanakh. Shlish, a third b'mishnah. Shlish b'talmud. Asks the Gemara, how does a person know what his total years are to be able to divide them? Miyada inish kamachai. How does a person know how long he's going to live? I meant to say biyomi in his days. Rashi learns Sunday, Monday, Chumash, right? Tuesday, Wednesday. Right? On that basis asks, but still a person doesn't know. If we'll make it through the week, how does a person know? Right? So he says, liyomi means every single day. One should dedicate part of his day to Tanakh, etc., etc. Interestingly, Rabbi Natam says that today we're primarily involved in Gemara, and talmud-bavli, he says, it's called bavli because it's bolol, it's a mix, it's a recipe, mixed with lots of Chumash, Tanakh, Mishnayos, Gemara. So he says that in a way that could be considered a fulfillment of this directive. Nevertheless, a person should still be Avodah Zarah and spend some time learning Chumash, Mishnayos. But in a general sense, our primary involvement is talmud-bavli, which already has aspects and elements of all three. Asher Purio Yitem B'itai. So a fellow who's learning Torah will be zeichet to be fruitful. Amarava in Purio Yitem B'itai. Then Alei Yiboil. Rashi learns in the second pshat that if a person gives forth his fruit, which means to say he actualizes and implements the things that he learns, then Alei Yiboil, his leaves will not wither. He'll be successful. He'll be successful. Otherwise, if he just learns but does not bother keeping his learning, both the learner and the teacher of this fellow, on them the pasuk says, things will not be successful for them. What does the pasuk mean? So Rashi learns, hipila here is like a nefel, like a stillborn, like a premature birth. So it's going on a person who takes the mantle of a paisik, of a rav, before his time, before he's qualified. It's a talmud It's a talmud who has yet to develop himself as a rav, as a paisik. It takes the liberty to issue rulings, and he generates lots of chalalim, victims along the way. On the other hand, on the flip side, the pasuk continues, ve'atzumim. Rashi says atzumim is like a person who closes his eyes. He withholds when he should be teaching. Kol harugeh. It's also not good. It's a talmud shigeh leira. Now we're speaking about a fellow who's already at the point of hayra'ah, and he does not take advantage of his position, of his abilities. Ve'eino imar, refuses to teach and to disseminate Torah and to paskin halachos. And that's also a pity. Rashi says harugeh. People suffer. People lose out, and it could be detrimental to his generation if he doesn't actualize his abilities. Vad kama, at what point, at what age is a person suitable for hayra'ah? Ad mem shnin, when he hits 40. Asks the Gemara, Rava paskind before age 40. Rashi says he only lived until age 40. Hasam b'shav, and that's where there was nobody above him in stature. There were only equals to him, so he took the opportunity, filled the need. And the pasuk says, regarding a Torah scholar, V'aleo lo yibol. What does that mean? His leaves will not wither. Amar of Acha, Barada, Amarav. V'amrila, some say it was Amar of Acha, Bar Abba, quoting Rav Amnuna. Amar of Amnuna, who quoted Amarav. We learn from here that even small talk of a talmidei chachamim ought to be studied and analyzed for their inherent value. Shafilu sichas chulin, like a leaf, which is the least valuable component in the tree. Right? You have the trunk, you have the tree, you have the fruit, you have the leaves, which are insignificant. Even insignificant shmuzing of Shalmei Talmid Chacham and Tzricha Talmud should be studied and analyzed. Rashi says, even their plain talk contain lots of wisdom, lots of good advice. Shenemar B'alei lo yibol. V'choy l'sheyas le'atzliach. So Talmud Chacham's endeavors will prove successful. Amar Rav Yishua ben Levi. Davar zeh, this concept, Kasab b'Torah, can be found in the Torah, V'shana b'Navim, and repeated again in the Nevi'im, Mushosh b'Ksuvim, and yet a third time in the Ksuvim. Which concept? One who commits himself to a Torah learning life, his nechasim, his parnasa will be successful. We have it in the Torah, Chsiv, Ushmartem as the Rebbe Sazois. So keep the Torah, learn the Torah, Vasisim Oisam Mantaskilu. It's called Shotasun, so that you experience all around success. Shana ben Avim, we find the same in Avim, the Chsiv, Lo Yamash Sefer Torah Zem Picha, right? Vagisa Bayam Valayla, connect the Torah all throughout the day and night. What's the end result? Success. Laman tishmar lasos kechala chasaboy ki oz tatzliach esroch echavas taskel, have success and wisdom. Misholosh b'ksuvim, yet a third time in the ksuvim, which is Tehillim, the chsiv. Ksuvim is the ksuvim, but in this case, the chsiv, it's a pasuk in Tehillim. Ki im b'Torah Hashem cheftzoi, b'Torah se'egim v'layla, right? Person is immersed in Torah. We find success. Vayikes shosal palgemayim asher piryo yitim v'itoi v'layla yiboil. And here's the punchline: v'chol asher yasi yatzliach. Says the Gemara, one day Machraz, Rabbi Alexander got up in the market and he says, Man boichaye. Who wants life? Man boichaye. Who would like to live? Okay, suddenly the crowd is all around him to purchase life. Konof v'asu kuli amal gabi. Everybody came and gathered around him. Amri and they asked him for life. Havlan chaye, you know, where's the life that you're giving us? Amri says, I don't have to give it to you. You have it within you. Just guard your tongue, and you'll merit a long life. Pasuk says, a person who desires life, very easy. Okay, so a person will think, I can't speak silly talk. I should just maintain my silence, like a mute person. Shama yemer adam. Okay, he says, I'm good to go. I'm guarding my tongue. No deceit. No evil talk. So now I'm ready to go to sleep. Basically, I don't have to do anything else. Sumira, distancing from evil talk, is only half the job. But then what do you do with your words? With the unspoken, what do you do with your power of dibur? Make use of it for good things, right? Learn Torah. Speak words of Torah. Vein toiv. The word toiv is Ela Torah. Shenamar ki lekach toiv nasat lachem Torah se'at hazovi. So we see that Torah is synonymous with toiv. Another way to learn this Gemara perhaps is a person might think, well, I got to be like an Elam. I can't speak, right? No, the answer is go, speak. Just make sure that you're speaking things which are words of wisdom, that have meaning, that have value, words of Torah. It's well known that the Chavetz Chaim, somebody related that when he went to visit him, he thought he wouldn't hear a word from him. He was the king of Shmiras HaLashon, and he walks around with pursed lips, right? Like a mute person, like a person who can't. And he was pleasantly surprised. He spent the whole Shabbos there, and he said the Chavetz Chaim was speaking non-stop talk. But words of wisdom, words of Torah, words of chizuk, words of musar. So although he was a very, very big speaker, he loved to talk. The words of value. Okay, so back to our Mishnah, where we learn Higia Lakipa. So you're building the Beis HaMerchatz, the wash house for the bathhouse for the goyim, and typically they would have this dome on the very top upon which they would place their statue. So when you get to that point, you got to leave the job. Mokim. You have to leave. Amar Blazar Rabbi Yochanan. Here comes a chiddush from Rabbi Yochanan. Let's say he did complete the job till the very end. In Bana, he built the dome as well, which is basically going to serve as a stand, as a base for the Avodah Zarah. Question: can he get paid? He shouldn't have done it, but once he does it, can he get paid for the job? Schorei mutter. He can take his salary. Pshita, well, obviously, at most, that base, that stand, is only mishamshi avodas kechavim hein. They're serving idols, and we know that umishamshi avodas kechavim, things which serve avodah zarah, according to all opinions, are not considered Avodah Zarah, not considered asr until they're actually used for their cause. Bein Rabbi Shmuel, Bein Rabbi Kiva. Both these Tanaim, although in terms of the actual Avodah Zarah statute itself, there's a disagreement when the Isser kicks in, but in terms of a mishamish, something which is meant to serve the Avodah Zarah, that only kicks in when it's actually activated and used. So, fine, he did it. It's not yet asr. He can get paid for it. It's not considered, Avodah Zarah payment, Avodah Zarah money. Benefiting from Avodah Zarah. It's not yet Avodah Zarah. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah. It must be that Rabbi Yechanan's chidush that allows him to get paid for his work, even the Avodah Zarah itself. So he built this idol. He can get paid there. 1 second. How could he? He's benefiting from Avodah Zarah. So this will work according to the Shita that says if it's a Avodah Zarah owned by a Yid, it's also right away. But when it's commissioned for a guy, then Achati Avid, it only becomes Asr when it's actually worshipped by the guy. Shabbos, that would explain the halacha, because although the Jew built Avodah Zarah, but since it wasn't yet transferred and used by the guy, transferred to the guy and used, so the Isser doesn't yet kick in, so he can get paid for that job. El Madamar, according to the other opinion, it says, even a non-Jewish owned idol will be Asr immediately, as it's made, as it's produced. So then how can he get paid for completing an idol? Michael Amemar, how can you allow him to get paid for it? He's benefiting from Avodah Zarah. It's schar Avodah Zarah. Ella Amarabba Ra'ula. Le'nitzruch elo makosh achre. The main point here is to allow him payment for that last bang. When he straightens out the nose the last time and he completes the Avodah Zarah. Because what turns this thing into an Avodah Zarah? Only that last bang, right? When he fully completes it. Until the nose is fully straight, it's not going to... When it's considered completion, at that last bang. Now the thing is, Makash Achrain, there's no value to that last... He's only getting paid less than a penny for that last bang. He gets $1 million for the full job, but just that last bang, that itself, if you were to isolate that act, that masa, that last adjustment, it has very little value. And even if he wouldn't do that last bang, he would still get paid. The guy wouldn't deduct, right? For missing that last bang. So, in essence, his salary, his pay is coming for the work that he executed until that very last adjustment. And at that early point, it has yet to be considered an act of Avodah Zarah. Remember, it only gets activated after that last adjustment. So therefore, he can get paid for all the work that he did until that point, when it was not yet deemed Avodah Zarah. So apparently Rabbi Lezer's Rabbi Yechon is of the opinion that when a person works, yeshna l'schirus, his wages are due all along. It's an incremental pay system. Mitchila vat soif. Because look, if you would be getting paid only at completion, so the full pay is only due at completion. At completion, it's too late. He's going to be getting paid for a completed and activated Avodah Zarah. You can't do that. But if schirus is mishtalames mitchila vat soif, so every effort, every bang, every minute earns him another $1. It's an incremental obligation. It's incremental pay. So until the last moment, it's not yet Avodah Zarah. He can get paid for that work, for that effort. And since the last bang is less than a pruta, so it's insignificant, Taisus explains, the guy would not deduct for that, so in effect he's getting paid for his work, which took place at a stage which is still considered pre-activation of the idol, in which case he can get paid for it. He shouldn't be doing it, but once he does it, he gets paid. Okay, let's do a quick chazara. That's today's topic. We got chazar, review, internalize, in order to make it a part of ourselves. So we have the Avram Avinu, right? We have the psukim about Avram Avinu who refused to join the ranks of the chatoim, of the leitzim, of the rishoyim, whether it's haflaga, whether it's stoim, whether it's the plishtim. Tshuva, ideally, with full force in one's prime years. Torah should be something which you enjoy in a place that you enjoy, from a rebbe that you enjoy learning. When a person learns Torah, Hashem's oisel chafatzav, Hashem will take care of him. Torah becomes personal. Through a person's effort and understanding the Torah, it's now considered his Torah, his personal Torah. Nikras al Shmoy. Rav advises just learn. Even if you can't really understand it at first, learn it up quickly. Then go back and review, and again until you actually discover the beauty and the sweetness lying beneath the surface. Ideally, a person should not overload himself with Torah, lest he forget. Rather, incrementally, piece by piece, internalize, review, and retain. In terms of svara, it's worthwhile going and hearing from different types of sources, different types of rebbeim, different types of styles, which will complement a person's perspective to Torah. A person should be all around in terms of different subjects, Chumash, Mishnayos, Gemara. Talmud she'agia le'ira should not avoid the limelight. He should step into to the job, to the role, and provide and teach. Even the Sichas Chulin of talmud-bavli needs to be studied and appreciated. We have many sources that Torah brings hatzlacha to a person's life. And we have Rabbi Alexandri, Sumi Rav Asei Toiv, Man Bo Yechaye. Instead of Lashon Hara, fill your tongues and mouths with words of Torah. We have the Chiddush of Rabbi Yechanan, that in Bona Schara Mutter. All the best to you, and Hatzlacha, Rabbi.